Good evening, Shivani. It's a
Good evening.
pleasure having you on this session. Congratulations on entering the most desired B school portal of our country, IIM Ahmedabad. How are you feeling, Shivani?
Good evening, sir. It's a likewise feeling. I'm feeling too great to be here. It's an honor to be with you on a session like this I never dreamed of. And definitely I am Ahmedabad. It's an overwhelming feeling. It's a rush that gets in you. So I'm kind of feeling the rush.
So your 14 hours and 16-hour days have started?
Yeah. It's much beyond that right now because the seniors are also indulging in making it hectic.
So it looks like you have not slept for the last couple of days.
Kind of been around 3-4 hours a day on an average.
Yeah. So that's going to be the norm. And many a times you may not even get those 3 hours in the first term till you get used to it and becomes part of your DNA. Wonderful. Shivani, let's start with you sharing about yourself in brief.
So I'm Shivani Dhillon. I graduated from IIT Ahmedabad in 2018. Before that, I did my schooling from Jaipur itself. So I'm a Kendriya Vidyalaya product.
Wow.
Typical 10 CGPA, 95%, and all of that in school. And even in graduation, I think I did decent. It was around 8.86 CGPA. Post that got placed in the very second company that visited campus, Tata Metallics, with a great profile in manufacturing. But I think in the initial 6 months, I realized that this is not the right fit for me. And I think it was a brave step that I took, quit in 6 months, then went for coaching industry, visited my love for physics, and then prepared for CAT. I may happen somehow.
Okay. Okay. It's a pleasure listening to you. And we will move to the interview part of it. Now that you got a 99 plus percentile, so what was going on in your head after this percentile and in terms of looking ahead the path?
So I'm not a person who looks at the achievements. I'm a person who looks ahead after the achievement. Okay, this is done. Now what next? So I remember as soon as I got the results, I started again talking to people who were there in IIMs that how should I go ahead with the interview? I don't know anything about this. And I really feel that I lack a lot of knowledge as compared to the perfect candidate, as I say. So there was a friend in IIM Kolkata, like he was associated with CL for all his preparations. And then he suggested me to go through CL's PDP program. He said that it's going to be very, very helpful. So I remember I called up the center and I enrolled on this very same day. I was like, I want to get ahead with this one. What's going to be the propositions that you're going to offer and all of that. So it was very, very, it was very attractive. The package was really attractive because it was not only centered about having 3 months, it was also about understanding yourself. So that really fascinated me and I signed up for that. Post that, the journey with CL started. I remember taking up all those long questionnaires and I was like, oh God, I don't want to do this. What should I do? And then I was like, no, you have to sit for this. You worked hard, you have to work harder. So I prepared that somehow, prepared the answers. They were very vague, just like any other noob. It was just all over the place. And then I remember having our first interaction. Still cannot forget that day.
So what did you gain out of the first interaction?
So, like during our first interaction, I remember you went through all of that, and I have written everything very honestly that I'm this, and this. So you actually helped me, to reflect back to what demerits I could have because of the traits that I possess. Especially, be it being stubborn or be it being impatient. And I could clearly see with the interaction ongoing as the interaction proceeded that, yeah, I lack a lot of things. I need to read a lot of things, gain a lot of knowledge, and I have to do it within this short span of 1 or 2 months. It's going to be more challenging than CAT because CAT was still in a comfort area. This is the place where you have no comfort zone. So for the first one, I remember I pointed, like I noted down everything that I was doing wrong. Especially, I revisited the feedback that you gave after the first interaction. That what are the points I need to work upon, and me being the planner that I am, I arranged them accordingly. That this belongs to our cats, this belongs to your general knowledge, this belongs to your background, and I remember picking up every single thing every single day. Plus, in addition to that, I really worked on my attitude at that point of time. I think you might also remember in the first interaction, I was very impatient. I was answering, while you were asking questions. So I trained myself to listen patiently to what people were saying. And I think even you can see the improvement right now.
Uh, so, what did you gain the most out of the PDP program?
The best thing that I got out of, like the best output I can say, is the self discovery that I had, because when I was starting, I was just another person who was impatient and who didn't know where she wants to go, no clear goals, just had a you can say the intelligence to be there, but didn't have the smartness to be there. So I think CL played a huge role between making me just a person with the percentile to the candidate who can actually be an MBA grad. So CL didn't train me to just clear the interviews. It was, I can still relate whatever sessions I'm going through right now in IIM Ahmedabad. I still revisit that, okay, this is the introspection, and with CL helped me a lot, and I'm pretty much ahead of people because of that. As I mentioned in the last session that I just had. So in that one, when they were asking me to introspect about my strengths, weaknesses, or whatever you have in your backpack, I was like, yeah, I know this one because CL helped me already. So yeah, knowing yourself is a very, very important section. And CL helped me understand my strengths and gave me the confidence and strategies to work in the area of comfort.
Mm-hmm. Now, tell me, you went through multiple mock interviews, and how significant was this mock interviews in refining, understanding your own self and refining yourself?
So the major thing that started, that was from the very first interaction, because it was a huge setback for me, honestly. I like after the first interaction, I knew that it's gonna be harsh and rash and all of that because I had feedback from people that it's gonna be rough, don't worry. So I was prepared for that mentally, but then I questioned myself, like, what were you doing? Why you don't know this? Like, you should have known this. So, like at that point of time, it was very, very important. First interaction helped me understand what I need to work upon. And then I remember the second interaction I had. So it was just before the IIM Bangalore interview. It was with GP sir. And like as soon as we started the interaction, I remember it was really early in the morning and I was not in the mindset. So he asked me several questions and I messed up in one of them. And then he was very disappointed and he started asking me questions on other areas. And also, gave me a bit of thrashing that, you should know this. What are you doing? You're not prepared. And that actually helped me to maintain the calm. Because when that was going on, I understood that the purpose behind this is not, making me feel bad about myself, and it is more about, you know, helping me understand to maintain the calm during an actual interview. So honestly, after having the two mock interviews with CL, I didn't really find any IM interview to be rash or harsh. It was not. It was very smooth.
Okay. So, were there any interesting anecdotes from the real interviews that could be of great value, and how did you apply your learnings from mocks in those interviews?
Yeah, I do remember that. So the most interesting one is I am Bangalore, and I think that was the best one too, considering that they offered me the initial scholarship. So in IIM Bangalore, we started with the panel started with the questionnaire of how much aware of you are of other industries. And I remember from the very first interaction that I don't have to, be over smart and say that, yeah, I know this or that, because there can be so many follow-up questions on that. So that kind of algorithm already played in my mind that what I have to say. So I told him, like, honestly, that I do have a bit of idea, but not much about it. So he was already having that mindset that, okay, the candidate is at least honest enough. He was disappointed, but I think honesty was a major trait over there. After that, he questioned me on, how increasing the number of IITs or IIMs is degrading their value or the brand value you hold, specifically for IITs because I have that background. And I remember that while preparing for mock, I learned that you should understand what are going to be the process or the follow up questions. So I was already prepared with that. I couldn't work on being very very crisp. I still am not. So I explained to him the whole thing, and he listened to it very patiently. So I helped him understand my mindset and the process that I think with. I think that was what he was looking for. As I gained from the mock insights, that they are looking for the mindset you have, the process that you have. So I actually tried to show him that. Post that, there were questions on my knowledge and whatever I love in physics. So even in those cases, I tried to bring in the points in my code. So when they were asking me about what is your comfort zone in physics or what do you teach, I was already prepared with one or two options over there, one major option and two three which were related to it. So they usually used to play in the related area rather than the major one. That is their strategy. And there was a third panelist in IIM Bangalore itself. He asked me about why do you want to do an MBA? And I remember that in the first interaction, the answer was too bad. But till the actual interview, it was so refined that even the person was able to understand that this candidate has put in efforts to think through it and to have a clear goal and vision. So that was very, very impressive. I remember him saying at the end of the interview that you have really good points. So I think I was very overwhelmed with the comment at that point of time. Similar thing happened in IIM Lucknow also. So in IIM Lucknow, they asked me questions on my hobby. I remember they started with what is your hobby, and I told them that I like cooking, and they asked me what dishes do you cook. So I was prepared with a list of 30, 40 that I actually can. So I listed all of them, but I missed out like one or two names, and he picked out some cuisines which were actually missing from the list. But thankfully, like I know what it was. So I remember out of 15 minutes, 5 minutes were only around how to make gatta sabzi. And I was like, okay, this is a cool one. This is a good one. No problem.
That's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So, if you have got to tell a few commandments to the aspirants in terms of how they should go about um, for preparing for those interviews, and uh, does preparing well in advance helps? What are the things that people can do well in advance, not waiting for the calls to come? For example, this is month of July, and what is it that these aspirants can do side by side while preparing for written exam? Little bit of time they can spare to start working. What are the things that you would advise them to do well in advance, and what are the things that you advise them to do during those 2 months?
So one thing that I didn't do, and I think I should have done, is being updated with whatever is going around in the world. IIMs are not only looking for people who are interested in business world. I think they're looking for leaders who have the knowledge of whatever goes around, be it in political areas or technical areas and all of that. So start reading newspapers thoroughly and be very, very, serious about it. So I did it only for VARC purposes, but I didn't really think about or bother about why this is happening or whatever is happening. You should do that. You should question, whatever is going around, and you should understand why things are happening. What is the baseline behind it? Because I remember I was asked a question about a general news that was there related to co-vaccine in IIM Calcutta, and I had to honestly answer that no, I don't know about this one. So they started with another phrase, but the thing could have, like, the interview could have been much, much better if I would have said, yes, I know about this one, and the discussion could have moved ahead. So that is one thing you should do. The second thing that could be done is, if you are not a fresher, if you are someone with work experience, I think you should start understanding what you're doing and, start looking at your organization, start looking at the work you're doing thoroughly, because they are going to question you on that. I was questioned about physics and about teaching methodologies in every single interview. So if you are someone who might not be doing a work that efficiently, for whatever reasons there are, just start looking at your job role and start preparing for things that are out there. Other than that, everything can be prepared for in the last 2 months. So that is pretty much fine. That's not an issue. But yeah, the general awareness and your work role, or if you're a fresher, your technical knowledge should be updated.
Is it because this is one of my passions anyways, having the clarity about one's own vision for life and career life basically, is it does it knowing that well in advance even before the written examination, will it have any impact on the way you approach the written examination, the way you approach the interview? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, that's a very good point that I missed out. Thank you for pointing that out. So yeah, it is really, really important to have that goal, because as we were discussing, people start preparing well in January and they lose out on in July. That is because of lack of goal that they have. So if you do not even have a clear vision of what you want to be or where you want to be, you should at least have the enthusiasm and determination to understand why MBA is important for you right now. So understand why MBA is important for you. Is it important for you? Is it so important for you right now that you can actually dedicate your time to it and you can have that patience to be, dealing with all the kind of challenges or hurdles that are going to come in. So if you're starting without that, I think you're going to lose out somewhere. You might not be able to perform best of yourself. So do have that, like do have an idea why you want to do an MBA. And if you have visions beyond that, that's like, sone pe suhaga, as we say. So that could be the best thing, but it's okay. Sometimes it's okay not to have a 5 year or 10 year goal, but do have a at least 2 3 year goal for yourself, that where you want to be, which IIM you want to be in, or if there's any other institute that you're aspiring for. I think that plays a role.
Wonderful, wonderful. It will be a pleasure to interact with your parents if they're around.
Yeah, sure, that can happen. Just give me a moment. I'll just. Yeah.
Uh,
So.
I'll behind every successful individual, हर एक इंसान के पीछे पेरेंट्स और फैमिली का बड़ा हाथ होता है. आई कैन सी, मैं आप में बहुत कुछ पाता हूँ और उस आपके नजरिया और का व्यवहार से मैं बहुत कुछ जान पाता हूँ कि किस तरह आपका परवरिश रहा होगा. सो आप क्या कहना चाहते हैं पेरेंट्स? व्हाट इज द ट्रिब्यूट दैट यू वांट टू पे टू योर पेरेंट्स टुडे?
Sir, actually, whatever I am because of these two people that you can see over here. Like, बचपन से ही मेरी मॉम ने मुझे बहुत ambitious बनाया है, because she told me that being a girl in this Indian society, if you're not achieving anything, if you're not being independent, you will be, suffering a lot. So I think somehow, that seed that she implanted in me of being an independent woman, I think that is being fruitful. And definitely my father's discipline and the intelligence that I get from him, that helped me out in the whole journey. My mom has always been inspirational. Whenever I used to feel down, I used to be like, nahi hoga mujhse, I can't do this. She used to be like, लोगों से ही तो होता है, इंसान ही तो करते हैं, तो तुम क्यों नहीं कर सकती? So she comes up with the best phrases, that can motivate you at any point of time.
बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत बढ़िया. No, it's a ये सच्चाई है. इंडियन सोसाइटी, फैमिली और सोसाइटी और नेशन को बनाने में जो लेडीज एंड मदर्स का जो हाथ है, वो तो मतलब कितना भी ट्रिब्यूट दें वो कम है. मैं आपसे पूछना चाहता हूं कि आपने इस आपकी बेटी का जो एवोल्यूशन में जो रोल आपने प्ले किया वो सराहनीय है, बहुत बढ़िया है. मतलब एंड आप क्या एज पेरेंट्स what is it that you can give the best? आप as a parents क्या चीज ऐसा करना है कि हर बालक बालिका शिवानी जैसा बने? क्या चीज आपने किया है और क्या चीज करना चाहिए? आप बताइए, आप मदर बताइए आप।
मैं तो अब ये चाह रही हूँ कि पहले जब बच्ची हुई थी तो हमारी सोसाइटी में क्या लड़कियों को उतनी अहमियत नहीं दी जाती। पर मैंने क्या है, एजुकेटेड मतलब बीएससी बीएड हूँ मैं। तो मैंने सोचा कि मैं नहीं कर पाई, अब मेरी बच्ची करेगी। अब शिवानी जब सक्सेस हो गई तो मैं ये चाह रही थी कि मेरी एक ऐसी बेटी और होती। तो मुझे बहुत मतलब अब मुझे ये गम नहीं है कि मेरी लड़की है या सोसाइटी को। मैंने यही सोचा कि मैं मेरे को ऐसा बनाऊंगी कि लोग ये कहें कि इसके जैसा बनो, शिवानी के जैसा बनो तुम सब लड़कियों को। मतलब ये इसको मैं कहती हूँ आदर्श बन लड़कियों के लिए, ताकि मतलब हर पेरेंट्स ये कहे कि देखो उसके जैसे बनना है तुम्हें।
बहुत बढ़िया,
और
बहुत
मैं ये
बढ़िया।
चाहती हूँ कि गरीब लड़कियों की भी मैं मदद करूं, बच्चों को इतना सक्सेस बनाऊं कि गरीब जो बच्चियां हैं, गरीब बच्चे हैं, उनकी एजुकेशन में भी मैं कुछ हाथ मतलब कर सकूं।
बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत बढ़िया। नो, वो झलकता है शिवानी का सोच। और सब में मैं एटलीस्ट कम से कम पिछले 6 महीने से तो वाकिफ हूँ शिवानी से तो।
हालांकि
सर।
बच्चों में जब मैंने ये डाला है कि मतलब ऊंचाइयों पे पहुंच जाओ तो भी आपको धरती से जुड़े रहना है
बिल्कुल।
और लोगों की मदद करना है। ऐसा नहीं है कि मतलब पैसे वाले हो गए तो हमारे जैसा कोई नहीं है, नहीं, लोगों की मदद करोगे तो आपको कोई जानेगा।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। अब मैं वही कहता रहता हूँ इन बच्चों से, हम तो इस दुनिया से जब जाते हैं कुछ लेके नहीं जाने वाले हैं।
जी।
क्या छोड़ के जाते हैं वो कहलाता है तुम हो कौन।
और सर
सर।
इसमें मेरे हस्बैंड का जो है बहुत बड़ा रोल है। मतलब मैं देखती हूँ फैमिलीज में बहुत लड़ाई झगड़े वाली होती। मेरे हस्बैंड बिल्कुल डिसिप्लिन शांति, कोई मतलब बच्चों को टैकल करना है तुम करो, डांटना है तुम करो। मेरे हस्बैंड कभी नहीं डांटते हैं, ना मुझे ना बच्चों को। उसी हिसाब से हमारे घर में बिल्कुल शांति और माहौल है पढ़ाई का सर।
सर मुझे आपसे बहुत कुछ सीखना है इसका मतलब।
Sir, you are
सर
well.
अब नहीं
You
सर,
are
मतलब
well.
इट्स एज ए फादर, एज ए फादर व्हाट इज इट, आप क्या मैडम ने तो बता दिया है कि पिताजी का क्या रोल हो सकता है, कि आप अपनी नजरिया भी व्यक्त कीजिएगा।
Actually क्या है, बचपन से सर जब हम एयरफोर्स में थे, then I used to say him बेटा. I didn't apply daughter. मैंने कभी इसको डॉटर कह के बुलाया ही नहीं। तो ये तो बोलनेस क्या है कि जब भी ये कही जाती थी यू आर माई सन नॉट डॉटर। और जब भी कुछ होता था, अप्स एंड डाउन्स जिंदगी में चलते रहते हैं। जब भी ये डाउन होती थी मैंने कहा बेटे नथिंग टू वरी, आई एम बिहाइंड यू। आप आप डाउन हुई हो, कुछ दिन के बाद ऑटोमेटिकली यू विल राइज। कभी कभी होता था जिंदगी में, मैं कहा हमारे यहाँ भी बहुत पड़ाव आते हैं। कभी हम ऐसे ग्रेव में होते हैं, दुखी होते हैं कि कुछ सोच भी नहीं पाते। बट काम इज द मोटिवेशनल व्यू इन माय व्यू, कि जब आपको गुस्सा आता है तो शांत हो जाए, शांत हो जाओगे तो कुछ क्षणों के बाद आप अपने आप उसका कुछ न कुछ हल निकाल। अगर गुस्से में कुछ कह दिया तो फिर दिक्कत हो जाएगी। तो जब भी मैं कुछ करता था ज्यादातर इनको ही गाइड करता था कि आप अपने तरीके से इनको टैकल कीजिए। सबसे बड़ी चीज है कि घर में शांति बनाई होनी चाहिए। शांत पीसफुल जहाँ इन्वायरमेंट होगा, नेचुरली कुछ न कुछ आउटपुट निकल के आता है। आए गुस्से में कुछ कह दिया, ऑफिस के बर्डन को यहाँ कैरी करके ले आए। कभी आई डिडंट कैरी एनी हर्डल्स इन माय हाउस। ऑफिस का काम ऑफिस से निकले, लिव इट। ये जो चीजें थी, बेटा है, बेटा भी काफी इम्प्रेसिव है, इज नॉलेजेबल, बट आउटपुट थोड़ा अभी कम है।
शिवानी के जितना
इनपुट है उसमें लेकिन आउटपुट कम है।
नहीं वो
ऑटोमेटिकली
हाँ
तो मुझे लगता है कि जब बाहर निकलेगा उसको भी कुछ टिप्स मिलेंगी।
हाँ
आप
हाँ।
जैसे बहुत
अरे नहीं,
बर्नर्ड मैन मिलेंगे, कुछ न कुछ तो।
आप हैं, शिवानी है, तो वो भी समझ जाएगा कि आगे बढ़ना कैसे है। नहीं, आपने ये
किसी
सही कहा है। घर पे मेंटेनिंग पीस दैट विल मेक ऑल द डिफरेंस। बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत बढ़िया। सो आप शिवानी को आगे कहाँ देखते हैं? मैडम तो अपना कुछ कुछ व्यक्त कर दिया है कि तुम आगे बढ़ो और मेक श्योर दैट लड़कियां दुनिया में आगे बढ़े। वो मैडम तो व्यक्त कर दिया है। आप क्या देख रहे हैं?
सर एक्चुअली देखा जाए तो मैं यही कहता हूँ कि अपनी गोल खुद डिसाइड करो। मैंने कभी इस पे इम्पोज नहीं किया कुछ चीज। आपको एमबीए करना है, आईआईएम अहमदाबाद लेना है, क्या करना है, यू योरसेल्फ डिसाइड। बाकी जो मेरे से होगा वो मैं,
बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत बढ़िया।
क्योंकि मैंने कभी भी इसको ये गाइड नहीं किया कि ये करना है वो करना। नो, नेवर। मुझे जो अच्छा लगता है कि मैं इस फील्ड में बेहतर कर सकती हूँ वो चूज करो। तो ये क्या होता है कि बच्चे में जबरदस्ती बर्डन डालने से कोई फायदा नहीं है। और नॉर्मली पेरेंट्स को ये पता रहता है कि बच्चे में कितना था। मुझे तो पता है, मैं बच्चे को देख के बता देता हूँ कि हाँ ये किस टाइप का बच्चा है।
सही
तो
बात है, सही
वो
बात
बच्चों को वो भी है, मैं दोनों में मुझे पता है क्या फर्क है। मेरे परिवार के बच्चे
है। हाँ,
उनमें
ये भी पता।
हाँ
हाँ, ये भी पता होता है कि अंदर का जो है वो आएगा।
हाँ
किसी का
बिल्कुल।
कोई 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 जल्दी पहचान लेगा अपने आप को,
हाँ
कोई थोड़ी देर से पहचानेगा अपने
थोड़ी देर से
आप। बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत बढ़िया। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आप दोनों से मुलाकात
थैंक
हुई,
यू सर।
बहुत अच्छा लगा।
थैंक यू सर।
इस छोटा सा 5 मिनट का ही सही, लेकिन अम, जो देखेंगे वो भी समझ जाएंगे, और जो देखेंगे उनके फैमिली लोग भी समझ जाएंगे कि हाँ, मुझे काम हमको ऐसा करना है। थैंक यू, बहुत बहुत बढ़िया।
थैंक यू
थैंक
सर।
यू वेरी मच। शिवानी, you would like to say something before they leave?
Yeah, so definitely. Like they have pointed out, the contributions they have made. So I think it's responsibility of a kid as well to, actually acknowledge the contribution your parents are making. Like as you can see, they might not be so well versed with the language and everything, but they made sure that the kids would be where they couldn't be. So I think that's the biggest, gift a parent can give, but you have to cherish that gift as well.
Yeah. Thank you. धन्यवाद, बहुत बहुत
Thank you, sir.
धन्यवाद। Thank you.
I'll just log off.
Thank you very much for bringing them into the session. How are you feeling?
I'm really overwhelmed with the fact that, they are really happy about my achievements and I lived up to their expectations till now. I really hope that continues and the kind of bond we have, I really hope to cherish that for life now.
I can see what you have imbibed from both parents and especially mother. And I am sure you will create an impact that mother will cherish for her lifetime. That I can see. It is, as she says, it is not about just your excellence, but how you impact the society, especially how you impact the other girl child and women. I'm sure in your journey and in your longer term vision, I'm sure it is very integral to it, and you are going to make a huge impact. Such a pleasure knowing you, Shivani.
Likewise, sir. I'm really blessed to have a guiding hand like you.
We'll continue this journey, and I am going to be there. I am not going to leave you.
Definitely,
Yeah,
sir.
and the journey is long, and we will have many more interactions while you are at IIM Ahmedabad. Maybe once in a term, maybe I'll say between the terms, maybe we'll have a little bit chat about what's happening, how is it going. insights from IIM Ahmedabad. Perhaps we'll continue Shivani with Shivani inside IIM Ahmedabad. Perhaps one series I will launch.
Sure, sure. Would love to be the part
Thank
of
you.
that, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's been pleasure interacting with you. Have a wonderful journey. Have a great time and
Thank you, sir.
enjoy. Make the most of these 2 years. These are transformational years. Make the most of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you
God
so
bless.
much, sir.